From Divine Sister of the Light Ashra Bennett, a Holy Mother's love, pouring from the golden chalice, heart and head, liquefy to unify. Since sharing the daughter codes of Andromeda Galaxy, Solar Feminine Christ Consciousness upgrades on the 2nd of December, I have witnessed the unfolding of secondary, very subtle energy with the Solar Christ Mary assisting. Sun codes, divine masculine, magi, grail timelines. This instruction sets upgrades that began coming in for the Solar Christ feminine that has been occurring and has been met with, also addressing any unresolved aspects of shame, guilt, and unprocessed grief, with any bias towards connection to the sacred solar masculine. The inner divine masculine principle is as much as the divine reflection in all connectivity to sacred masculinity, to the direct connection to the Holy Father. These hidden and minor energetics are so subtle as the weeks have passed. There has been a deeper purification through the Solar Christ Feminine collective to rise with a renewal of self-love, acceptance, and self-accountability beyond any paradoxical confusion in connection to the Solar Christ Masculine they may have experienced previously, including the now. As such, the need to make way for addressing any internalized trauma and oppression of said trauma has been rising to the surface to be addressed as it inhibits the solidification of the alchemizing of the 11D instructional sets synthesis in the light body. Much of the shame energy held in stasis is reflected in how the feminine has been portrayed versus how she magnificently just is. Shamed in spaces, places, conversations, intimate, personal, and professional, guilted in ways for not being enough or being too much. When grief is left unprocessed in the body's fascia, it leads to illness, disease, and dysregulation. But as much as the energy has been subtle, it is without noting that in equal measure the Solar Christ Feminine has also shamed, guilted, and held bias towards the Solar Christ Masculine. This is not about some victim-victimizer dynamics. It's the final layers of the inversions that keep parasitic looping occurring and patterning that is trying to prevent unity, hence why the further bi-purification rises rapidly. The divine unity of the sharing of such poignant, powerful codes between the sons and daughters of Christ is preparedness for 2024 and beyond. Maybe you have felt how tender-hearted you have been moving through your changes. When you keep feeling to soften, surrender, and look at your own stuff to shift once more in a more harmonious flow than ever before. Where have pride and prejudice held you in captivity to beliefs that do not amplify unity, but perpetuate separation, division, and segregation? Where have you self-persecuted, tried to shame yourself or even others into change? The Divine Mother principle continues to weave in her all-enduring love, presence, and compassionate presence with the Solar Christ Feminine at this time to aid in the ever-unfolding, deeper, to the Holy Mother, Holy Father arc. When instructional set changes occur at such a deep level as what has been unfolding in the last several weeks, humanness, through its own programming, will innately feel tested, stretched, and fatigued until a new layer of self-realization, self-actualization births. Disarmoring down, expanding in the heart by unifying the mind and speaking the mother language of love. The layering reveals more of who you are as a Solar Christ Sophia Grail Keeper, allowing for old identities to fall away, surrendering not only through tender prayers of peace, calmness, and forgiveness and acceptance, but rather yielding in the depths of your heart unbridled love, to love and be loved as you are. As the divine Solar Christ sons merge and met you in ways you can begin to be in divine reciprocity without expectation, judgment, or conditioning. a presence of co-creation, as you learn in deeply owning, discrediting another path, purpose, position, feeling, or knowing as greater or lesser than yours alone, serves no one. The Holy Mother's language of love asks for her sons and daughters to move as love moves, freely, unencumbered, and without bias. Most of all, with compassion, we build more rainbow bridges and reverse inversions when shame, guilt, and unprocessed grief are met where they are. When we heal together, we can achieve anything together. Together we rise eternally. Ashra from ChaliceAlchemy.com.